And Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude. Welcome, everyone, to our Divination workshop tonight here on High Frequency Living on LaOta of the Sun YouTube channel. Tarvars will be joining us tonight. Welcome, Tarvars.
Lakesh Veritas, everyone. Ready to be in truth with you all. Power of truth. Thanks for having me, Diane.
You're welcome. Thank you. So we will be exploring the truth with the Call for the Truth Divination cards tonight. So I am Diane of the Sun, owner of Lakesh Studio One, a franchise of the Sun. We offer quantum light property clearing services, truth and tea, call for the truth divination card readings, and other services. So check out our highly vibrational services and products at inlakeshstudio1.com. Check us out on Instagram at inlakeshstudio1 also, where we post every Friday a call for the truth divination card reading. And today's card reading was freedom. It is never that the option for free choice is not there. It is that it is not exercised. So this is really important. We all can make our decisions, but we have to make a choice. We can't be loosey-goosey.
That's right. None of the loosey-goosey. We're not doing that.
Nope. Free will is making a decision. Free won't is not making a decision.
Yeah, and then something else slides in and make the decision for you.
That's right. So a few other announcements. High Frequency Living offers live streams. We focus on high frequency living lifestyle topics and of the sun classes and modalities like quantum light property clearing, soul translation, light body movement, and other classes, services, and products. All the live streams are recorded, so be sure to check out our previous live streams and podcasts. And you can join us each week live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern with Lauren for Flowers and Frequencies. On Wednesdays at noon Eastern for myself with Midday Meditation. Thursdays at noon Eastern with LaOta and Tarvars of the Sun for their Call for the Truth live stream. And Fridays, we have a rotating schedule. So this week is our Divination workshop. And next week, we will be having the Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles. So Tarvars will be joining, and Tiffany of the Sun. And I'm not sure if Lauren, I don't think Lauren will be there this time, but she's often there, Lauren of the Sun too. So join us for that wonderful conference of all kinds of stories and experiences that we have with our with the Quantum Light Property Clearing service and classes, because Tarvars is an instructor of the class. So there's also that. So there's some classes going on now in July with Of the Sun. One of them is Soul Translation, the Luminous Light Method with LaOta. And this is part 2. So there's always new information coming forward to assist us in living a lifestyle of light. And that's on Tuesdays. And there's 2 more Tuesdays, the 21st and 28th at 6 p.m. And also Tarvars is teaching the Energetic Protection and Defense class, which started yesterday, but there's 2 more sessions of that as well, the 23rd and the 30th. Did you want to share anything about your class?
We were handing out swords. This is my umbrella, but handing out swords because you got to be ready. But the truth is, we are the sword. That's the concept. Many people, they call for protection from their guides, but sometimes have an experience where they feel as though the protection they call forth is not in effect. But it's really we who step outside of our protection due to the lack of understanding of the true nature of reality and our relationship with the outside world. So much of the class is geared towards helping reshape your identity and understanding of who and what you are and the mechanics of reality, so that when you go to protect yourself and defend yourself, the techniques are much more effective. But even more so, like, you're protecting yourself from you. It's like, what are you giving
Mm,
consent to that's making you a victim? And it's at
mhm.
every moment, it's levels of consent and predominantly unconscious. But again, understanding what is happening in the field, it better equips us to not only protect ourselves, but to influence reality. Raising ourselves up and raising the field up is a form of protection. It's preventative measures. And then sometimes when we're slipping, we have to quickly pull out the sword. And, that's the defense part where in that moment we have to address the darkness and the negativity because it's a threat to losing our elevation. So we're having a really great time. We just laid down some concepts in Lakesh Singularity Nodal Connection, which is ushering the students into recognize you're connected to everything, period, the end. You step into that, you're going to have more influence over reality and greater influence with these activations for calling your power back, sending things back to darkness and negativity back to the originators, etc., etc. So again, good times, and we got 2 more classes left.
Awesome. Thank you. I've taken this class multiple times and it's always so helpful. It's very helpful. There's lots of wonderful tools to assist us. And the big key for me is just remember, be aware of what's
Yeah,
happening, be aware of your surroundings and what's coming at you or what you're thinking. Mostly,
yeah,
it's not really out there. It's what
yeah.
what's coming in here,
True that.
and be aware of that, and you can change that. So
Certainly.
thank you for that. So all the links for classes and things are in the description of this live stream. And so that wraps up our announcements. And I invite you to join me. Shall we call for the highest possible vibration? Shall we call for the highest possible vibration? Shall we call for the highest possible vibration? Shall we call for the truth? Shall we call to see the truth in all that we see? Shall we call to hear the truth in all that we hear? Shall we have the courage to speak the truth? Shall we invite nothing less than the truth into all of our experiences? Okay, so we are in the truth. So, call for the truth. Divination cards were created by LaOta Rassoull, LaOta of the Sun, and she created them after she wrote her book, Call for the Truth. So, this is a wonderful book that gives different perspectives on what different things that were happening at the time a number of years ago. And it's not a very long book, but it is very in depth. There are so many things. There are so many things that come forward. And every time I read it, something new pops up. Oh, a different understanding. So I encourage you to check that out on Amazon, or if you'd like an autographed copy, I have them at inlakastudio1.com. So then, after she wrote the book, LaOta created these cards, Call for the Truth Divination cards, and Tarvars did the beautiful design work on all of them. It's their beautiful holographic design and the Veritas signal, Call for the Truth. So these cards have many, many, many layers. So they have first off, they have a topic at the top, and they have a very important maxim. And this is something that LaOta has brought forward. Some of them are from her book, some are from classes and different things that she has expressed. This is related to a color, a chakra, a number, a platonic solid. So there are many, many layers, and we will explore all the layers tonight as we go through our card reading. And then some herbal allies have come forward as well. to enhance our messages. So different herbal allies like peppermint. Peppermint has come forward as the spokes herb for Call for the Truth divination cards and many other herbs. So we'll explore that also at the end. So the question tonight that we are going to be asking, and thank you, Tarvars, for this question.
You are welcome.
What is the collective truth that we must see and embody to gain greater coherence with our light body? Because we are really working on our light body. We have a light body movement in Of the Sun. We meet every Sunday, well, the first 4 Sundays of every month. And so, what is the information that we need to know, just that we must see and embody so we can have greater coherence within our light body? So, what we do first is knock on the cards 3 times to clear them. And then we synchronize and harmonize because Call for the Truth divination cards has its own consciousness. They were created by LaOta and they have their consciousness as well. So we call to synchronize and harmonize with that consciousness to bring forth the truth. And we ask to bring forth the truth for what is the collective truth that we must see and embody to gain greater coherence with our light body. And as we shuffle the cards, bringing forth that information, and we will be doing a 3-card draw tonight, past, present, and future. Okay. All righty. So the first card is the past card. And the past card is belief. I don't know if you can. And this says, see and then wait. Not wait and then see. Seeing is asking. I don't know if you can, if you can read this at all.
Yeah, we can see it
Can you see that?
for the most part.
Okay. So this is interesting. This is something that we must know about being coherent with our light body. We must see and then wait. And so seeing is asking. So we must ask for the coherence with our light body. So this is about, let's see, this is a chakra above the head, and this is about foundation and intention. It is the color gold, which is about illumination, sun, prestige, wealth, success, affluence. However, the flip side is greed, overambitious, arrogance, extravagance. So if we find ourselves in any of those flip side frequencies, flip that into success and illumination. Illuminate your light body. Illuminate it for that. And number 9 is selflessness and compassion, encompassing a love for all. It desires to apply its energy to universal service. It bestows an impersonal view of life, one that is generous, benevolent, and patient. 9 is ready to give back to the universe a measure of what it has learned through the 8 previous steps in the cycle. Interesting, it says patience.
Mm.
And Wait, see and then wait, not wait and then see. That's patience, is asking and waiting is patience. If you're waiting, that's not patience, that's not taking control. So this is the past, and the past, even though it's the past, it still applies to us because they still affect us. Past events are either holding us back or they have the potential to help us. So we can use this to help us move forward in greater coherence with our light body by asking and then seeing, waiting for it, but seeing that it comes forward. So, do you have any comments, Tarvars, you'd like to share on that?
Yes, I have many. There's a number of things that are arising to mind. Just going back to the initial question, we're speaking about coherence, and as Diane mentioned, you mentioned that is the theme for this season or phase 3 of light body movement. We have went through 2 phases of interfacing, becoming familiar with the light body and its energy centers on an individual level, intensives each month, hyper focus. And now it's important to put it all together to be whole, not where it's just one instrument playing and then the rest of the orchestra is just sitting back waiting to be queued up, where it's this dynamic piece that's playing where each frequency, each layer of consciousness is communicating. So when we say see and then wait, not wait and then see, there's so much that arises into mind. And at first, what comes forth is this is ninth chakra, correct? Like the
Mhm.
upper chakra.
Upper. Mhm.
Automatically, it's saying, all right, go higher, um, have a greater perspective of what is. And what I have noticed is that usually on our path, we have just an eye level perception. We might stand up on a chair or something spiritually to see a little further, but you know, w- it's often a challenge for people to see down the line or see radially like everything that's happening. And so when I hear see and then wait, not wait and then see, a undertone that I'm getting with this is establishing trust with the higher intelligences, the higher dimensional parts of ourselves
Mm.
that knows, that sees. But it's challenging if we're hanging out in the solar plexus, at ground level and not interfacing with these higher aspects of ourselves. And to continue, I also see where the see and then wait, not wait and then see. We've been speaking so much about the unification of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and how the divine feminine carries vision. And part of that seeing is like, do you have a vision? Are you open to the higher dimensional understandings or information, the signal of why you're here, what your purpose is? And can see where tapping into that does help with coherence, because you have a guide, you have a map, or at least rough understanding of, okay, I see. I may not have all the pieces because it does feel like that like there's an ever unfolding, multiple puzzle pieces. There may be some gaps missing, but going up higher, you're able to connect more with divine levels of intelligence, which is you and your extensions of self, and you can see more up there. And then another thing that stood out were some of the attributes: wealth, success, illumination. And one of the things that is coming forth is like the wealth and abundance. And this is something that's been happening, and I'll share my process with gaining greater coherence. You see more of who you are. You feel whole. You don't feel like like you're missing something. You feel like you have what you need, and then that translates into other areas of life, right? And so when I think of coherence, what comes to mind is wholeness. It's oneness in Lakesh. Through my consciousness, my entire system is operating and firing on all cylinders. And what can help with that is expanding our sight and to see the wealth, to see the success, to see that illumination is a potentiality. Sometimes we don't. We're like, oh, it's just dark everywhere. I don't see any options. But if we go higher, I'm like, oh, look at it over there. There's a path over there. Oh, if I just take this road, it'll lead me to where I want to go, or some level of safety or security. And then lastly, the number 9. I think that's really cool too. I love that you pointed out generous and patience. And specifically, when you said patience, it made me think about trust. When you see and then wait, um, the patience, the trust, and the knowingness of who and what you are and what you're connected to. Patience is automatic. It's not even a question, because you have trust. It just is what it is. But like you said, when you said waiting, I started laughing because I could see, like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We don't trust. It's like little children on the road trip. So this is a great strong start to coherence for the collective, and the necessity to get a higher view and vantage point of who and what you are, why you're here, is what I'm getting from this card. How's this landing for you?
That's wonderful. Yes, thank you. I liked all of the things that you were saying um, about the coherence with the wholeness and in Lakesh, and we bring that coherence through everything. And I also liked when you said sometimes we can't see, we sometimes get on a chair, but we need to get on the ladder
That's right.
and go way up there and really, really see what's going on. So
Yeah.
thank you. All righty. So now we'll do a pull for the present card. What's going on in the present right now?
Hmm.
Oh, this is one of my favorite cards. Not that, I mean, every card is my favorite
I know you
card.
like them all.
Uh, However, this one I think is really cool too. It is motivation.
Yeah.
You were born for this time. It is time to awaken and remember. You are the one with your hand up saying, pick me, pick me. I want to come. I want to be here now. And it always gives me a smile when I pull this card,
Mm.
because it's like, yes, I got my hand up. I have my hand up. I wanted to be here. I have to remind myself sometimes about that, because sometimes I'm like, did I really? But yes, I did.
I feel you.
Because we all have our lessons to learn, and sometimes they're, well, most times they're challenging because they're lessons.
Yeah, right?
It wouldn't be we wouldn't really have a lesson to learn if everything was easy, so I, uh I enjoy this card a lot. So this is also a higher chakra. This is
Mhm.
above the head, just below the other one that we just had. So this is about glory and motivation. And this is the color pink or rose. And it's about romance, femininity, nurturing, unconditional love, affection, and hope. And these are all, remember, these are for us. These are these
Yes.
emotions are for us to know there is unconditional love for me and everyone else, but it starts with me.
That's
And if
right.
I don't have that, it doesn't show up anywhere else. And then the flip side, though, is being weak, immaturity, and inhibition. So if any of those come forward, if you think you can't speak about something, think about this. You were born for this time. Awaken and remember. Speak your truth. Speak the truth of what is coming forward. And remember, everything is done with love. If you do everything with love, that protects you as well as the truth. Truth and love. And this is the number 8. And the number 8 will assume power. It has achieved control and responsibility in its field. Recognition and financial rewards are bestowed, and growth in the business world takes place. 8 karma is king. and we reap what we have sown. Power is associated with the eight: ardor, zeal, steadfastness, and the ability to see in broad terms. Give it ambition and the qualities needed to achieve material goals. Because we are here in a human body, a human vessel. So there are things that we need to do as a human. So we need to achieve those goals. Tavares, do you have any comments you'd like to share about this card?
Yes, I most certainly. Chakras way
Yeah.
past 7. So they like go way up high, like go to the rooftop, get yourself a little, I don't know, a jetpack or something, or an umbrella, not umbrella, a balloon, and a float up a little higher. Get higher
Mhm.
than wherever you are. And what I sense is the divine is sharing with us. It is imperative that we gain perspective, and this appropriate perspective. That's where the opportunity is. Shift the perspective of who and what you are, how you identify. When I hear you say, that your experience with this card, sometimes with the challenges that we are confronted with, and I mentioned this on a podcast some time ago. There's a song with a young lady. She has such a wonderful voice, but the song is reeking of escapism and victimhood.
Mhm.
And she sings saying, "Earth is a ghetto, I want to leave,"
Oh.
asking for the aliens to come and beam her up. And it goes on, and it sounds rather poetic, but it's again the underlying frequency is, I don't want to be here. I didn't ask for this. And that's something that many people on the path are like, universe, why, guys, why I didn't, did I choose this? And it's tough for us to accept it. And again, perspective from a higher vantage point helps you see the moving pieces. I had this experience recently where there's more gratitude and value for my mother and my father and my lineage. And I'm the black sheep, just as many of you all who are likely listening, where we were implanted, so to say, in the lineages to do something different. But we needed the experiences. As you say, we need the challenges, we need the lessons. And it's hard to have that perspective when you're just at eye level in it. But you raise up and you see the moving pieces and see a little further, and there's glory, as the card says. There's glory involved. So some of the things associated with this, though, I like how it was saying the nurturing and the femininity, the unconditional love, and I really like what you were saying about giving that to self. And one of the great understandings I've been tapping into is you have everything you need. You have
Yeah.
everything you need, and it's not that getting love from another person is not a problem, but I mean, it's welcome, but when you have it, it's like, all right, join the party, but like we're good. We're whole. We're coherent. We're not missing anything. And that we truly need to give ourselves that. Not over externalizing, thinking that something's going to fill that void, and the nurturing that comes with that. Giving yourself what you need, the femininity, the care, and love that sometimes we don't love ourselves appropriately, and that can look like a lot of different things, many different things. I
Yeah.
feel like you have some thoughts on that. I have more to say, but please share your thoughts.
If I could just jump in
Please.
quickly about the loving yourself and then loving outside, because a lot of society is like, "Oh, my other half," or, "Oh, you complete me," those kinds of things, and it is not. You complete yourself,
Yeah.
and you are whole yourself, and if
Mm,
someone joins in, as you said, it's wonderful. However, you're already whole. It's not that you need that other part. You don't need it. It's welcome and it's lovely, but it's not like, "Oh, you can't live without it," because that's what they try to portray,
mhm.
and, it's not the truth.
It
So,
screams lack and scarcity.
call for the
That's
truth.
that's right. Truth make you strong and see that, look, I can do it. And I have two halves within me. I have masculine and feminine. But then it's like, when you were speaking, I was thinking about what the angels share with us, compassionate detachment. Like, I love
Mhm.
you, but like, you're free. Like, I don't need you like that. You don't need me like that, but we're interdependent. We can work together. We can do great things, but like, I'm not falling for, oh, Diane. Diane's not picking up my calls. She didn't text me back. Or whoever we're having these experiences with, our children, our friends, family, etc.
Right.
And this is problematic because again, the we don't when when you were explaining about people who have accepted the falsity of I need my other half, it's just a grave misunderstanding of who and what you are. We just
Mhm.
That's just a person who just doesn't know. It's a great big psyop. This whole my twin flame.
Yes.
I it's not that it's not real, but it's just so much psyop distortion out there, that takes the truth and just caters to the lower self and like the unresolved trauma within us.
Mhm.
So anyway, I have one more thing here. Two more things. Weak immaturity inhibition. Something that I have seen is that um, there is truly a concept called spiritual maturity. There are aspects of levels of responsibility and accountability that become available uh, when we take more ownership. And the absence of that is immaturity and inhibition. And it just truly coincides with this lack of motivation and not being an acceptance of why you're here, or people feeling like they have to hold back what naturally arises. And it's very problematic because there's so much glory in it, not just for the self, because it's nutrition when we do that, but everybody is served, everybody wins when we refrain from suppressing the natural expression, the divine insight that only you can bring forth, and more or less, because I think everybody's a snowflake, like LaOta says, and has a unique facet to bring forth, but we'd have to see the value. And then
Mhm.
one last little piece, the quality to achieve material goals. This is something that I've been working with in recent time, where spiritual people usually are in lack and scarcity. And some of it is because we have seen what people on the planet who are affluent and wealthy, how they operate with it. And you can call it wealth if you want, because sometimes, and by the way, we have a lot of high end clients ranging from celebrities and people who make six figures. And I'm telling you, their issues and lives are just as jacked up as everyday people who are middle class and lower class. Same problems, just a different um, financial bracket. But this idea of how being in your glory, doing what motivates you, can assist you in achieving financial material gain, and there is nothing wrong with that. We're in the root chakra, even though this is eighth. We're in the root chakra, and some of the understandings that have been coming forth for me is, look, you better get this money, because if you don't, if you're resisting it, you're denying the truth of who you are. Creation is abundant. Your creation. This is just another facet of it. You chose to be here in the system. Don't be like the girl who want to be beamed up by the aliens now. You chose this. So get with the program. And as a matter of fact, the world requires people like ourselves and others who are tuning in on the line, who, once you get some money, I know people on the line are like, man, if only I had such and such amount of money, I'd be doing so many wonderful things for the community. That's what's needed. So, but I can see where like the reconciliation with this is, doing what's naturally inspired and what we're motivated, that can translate into, again, physical material gain.
Mhm.
Those are my thoughts. How's that landing for you? Because I kind of went through the spectrum. I'm like, we're in the eighth, but I went all the way down to the root, because it's coherent.
Well,
Everything, the instruments are playing.
exactly. That's what you said too about the coherence, because just and you said this in Light Body, you and Lota, about even though we're in in the root chakra, they all affect each other.
Yes.
And so you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to focus and be like." with blinders only on one thing or binoculars looking at one thing because it's how it affects everything else.
Yeah.
So, yes, I like that. I like
Trill and
yes,
kill.
creation is abundance. Creation is not lack. I like that too because
Oh,
a lot of times we think, "Oh, no, that's too much. I shouldn't ask for that." Why? It's a different thing if you're asking for something just for, self, but even for self, it's good.
yeah. It's like,
I
why not?
mean, what why do you have to be in lack? You know, and there's enough for everybody. There's enough for everybody to have everything. There is no limit. Everything that our universe is limitless.
Last I
I
checked with the universe, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so it's like, "Oh, alrighty." So, very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that's our present. That is
Yes.
where we are now.
Mm.
And so moving forward into the future.
While you're pulling that up, someone said, "Caught that." We got Susan Archer 6182 in the house, dropping heart emojis, loving what we're bringing forth this evening, and it's resonating. Oh, now she's dropping more comments. I love money, money loves me, and it's all
Mm,
okay. I have enough to spare and to share. Ooh, I like it because it
mm.
rhymes. It feels
Oh, I
good.
like that too. Thank you for that.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Susan.
Alrighty. So here's the future card, and it is for our solar plexus. It is self-destruction.
Ooh, interesting.
So this is self-destruction. And the maxim is self destruction is not aligned with fighting for those who cannot help themselves. You bring your self destruction everywhere you with you wherever you go. And what I like to when I look at this card, what comes forward for me, I have a little note in my book that I wrote down because I always look at it with the flip side of self-preservation.
Mhm.
Because this just means you're not preserving yourself if you're destroying yourself. You know, self-destruction is not self-preservation, and self-preservation is one of the universal laws, the first one.
Breaking the law.
And yep. And so you have to be your authentic self. And I think that speaks to what you talked about earlier about people withholding their uh, their information that they want to share. You
Yeah.
know, and that so if people are doing that, then that will bring into that self-destruction, and that will, it will not help with the light body at all.
No, it's
It
gotta
will
do yourself.
but it's also about helping ourselves to help others. So this is the solar plexus chakra, and this is about our self-esteem, confidence, power,
Mhm.
our identity. And yellow is about self knowledge, cheerfulness, concentration, energy, practicality, clarity, optimism. However, the flip side is caution, unstable, and cowardice. And I can see that the cowardice could bring forth this self destruction.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm afraid to say something, or I'm afraid to do something. Well, what are you afraid of? If it's something that's coming forward in you,
The
that's what you
boogeyman.
need to do.
There's a boogeyman out here, Diane.
Hmm? Oh,
There's a big bad boogeyman out
oh,
here,
yes.
apparently. It's like,
Yes.
this the they in all caps. Forget they.
Mhm.
That's another story for another time.
Yeah, so this also is the number 3,
Mhm.
and the number 3 combines the qualities of 1 and 2. A diversified vibration carrying the qualities of manifestation and self-expression. The fractions and the 0 sought to assert their individuality under 1 and felt the attraction of others under 2. Now awakens to its need for social interaction. Number 3 is the need to communicate and become involved in the pure joy of living. Through its exuberant response to life, number 3 bestows sunny radiance and enthusiasm upon all. And the pure joy of living is self preservation.
Mm.
And so this is the Platonic solid of the tetrahedron, the fire element. And it's all about manifestation and balance, connecting with our fire energy, connecting with the sun, solar energy. This is our internal sun, and we can use it in many ways. Preservation would be a good way to use it.
It indeed. It sure would.
So you have comments about
Yeah,
this, Tavares? Yes?
I do. First, I'd like to acknowledge the divine intelligence that's permeating through these cards, through this live stream. These cards are always on point. This is why I messaged you earlier. Hey, Diane, what are we talking about? Because I want to open myself up to it. Because I'm sure I'm going to see something throughout my day that I can bring forth. So, again, there's just so much here. Let's start with the continuity that we have going on with belief, motivation, and self destruction. So, we started off with see and then wait, not wait and then see, which is prompting us to stretch ourselves to have sight, to see the greater self, go higher, have a bird's eye view, stop looking at your problems from here, see the divine orchestration, so to say. And then the motivation, when you up higher, you'll see more of why you're here. Things will make sense. You'll see why you were born into the family, why you had that heartbroken relationship, why you went through that health crisis, how you made it out on the other side, because you're here to be of service. Your story matters. And it's wild because we've been tricked to think that we're nothing, to think that we don't have any value. I came across a video clip today. This was regarding entrepreneurship. And funny enough, the guy used the language coherence. And I'm like, yes, yes. I was in the truck driving and was popping off, Diane. I was excited because I could see the continuity. It was exactly what I mentioned to you, where the divine was speaking through reality. I could see it. And he basically said this. This was again from businesses, and he was speaking about AI and how AI is just so prevalent. He goes, information becomes infinitely abundant, which means information is becoming less valuable. What's becoming more valuable is coherence, lived lived experience, story. Like AI can summarize 10,000 books, but it can't beat your lived experience. And that your lived experience is becoming one of our most valuable assets that we own, specifically as business owners, entrepreneurs, like what we're giving to the world. Like AI can't produce that. That's not something. So when I think about seeing them wait and then the motivation while you're here and how each soul is we're here for the most part to share something, to give. And many of the people who resonate with this message and on this line, you feel greater purpose, but you over here sabotaging yourself. You over here cowardly, like, I don't know if I should do it because, oh man, what would they think about me? Weak sun, sun is cloudy, partly cloudy. It's a rainy day inside. And so the self esteem, the confidence, the power, which this requires us to change our identity. This is why we're in light body. And I highly encourage for anyone who's not in the light body movement and you're feeling what we're laying down, join us in the cultivation because this confidence that you hear, This is from bringing coherence into the actual light centers that translates into speech, translates how we perceive ourselves. And so identity change is a must. I was in a conversation with my mother today, and I was sharing with her, Mom, I don't believe anything that they taught us. Nothing. And I said, who I thought I was given to me. That identity of Tavares, it's like that's not even my true self. That's what society and those who have been in power for who knows how long, for a long, long time, right? Off-world beings, deep state, the oligarchs and bankers and wealthy elites and families, etc., etc. Like they have molded society, and society has molded us. So we got to drop that because the greater reality, as you were saying, we're the sun, we are the elements, we're the fire. We're here to give life, and it's through the solar plexus, through what we take into action, which would be the thing that we're motivated by, which would be the thing that oh, this is why I'm here. Let me express, let me move on it. And then, so self knowledge, concentration, clarity, optimism, I think all of these things, they go hand in hand. And then what I loved about the numerology, the three combines the qualities of the one and the two, manifestation and self expression. And so I could see a call back to the see and then wait, not wait and then see. Because when you're manifesting, you're pulling something from higher unseen realms into the physical. The one is the root, the physicality, right? Because everything corresponds. And then the two is the relationship. So it's like by having the courage to move on my motivation, I get to share that bond with the two. And then we got this trinity. We can birth something. There's an experience. It's not just the person and the other person. There's something happening in between. It's like a
Mhm.
trifecta, right? So I can see that happening with the three, and it's so beautiful. But again, going back to motivation and why we're here, self destruction is not aligned with fighting for those who cannot help themselves. So many people who are on this path feel the call. They feel like, oh, I'm here to do something greater. But like you're over here in self sabotage, you're reckless. You're over here destroying yourself. You're driving on the wrong side of the road. You're drinking and driving, texting and driving, in your vehicle, you're poisoning yourself, you're doing all these things that go against the nature of who and what you are, which is to give life, to give life abundantly, to through your thoughts, through your actions, through what you take in, through what you broadcast. And like, you know, we can't be incongruent. I mean, we can, but the incongruency or the lack of coherence is going to show up. We're not going to have the outcome or the impact on the other, because that's what solar plexus is, or partly. Like we're in solar plexus in detriment, where we care too much about what people think. So we want their
Mhm.
outside validation. It's like, and then when we don't get it, we're like, oh, so I guess I'm not who I thought I was, right? So the empower solar plexus, we're here to broadcast. We're here to give. And that giving, it has a greater impact when we are coherent, when we are congruent with life preservation, as you say. So that those are my thoughts. I kind of rounded it up with the past, present, and the future, and it just lets me know we need to assess. May we assess where we are. Where are the areas that you find yourself sabotaging? Where are the
Mhm.
areas where you find yourself incongruent regarding your personal power and how you share that with others? And then wondering why, like, some people won't take your advice or don't believe you. And it's not so much that we need that, but it's more like the sun has an impact. We know what the sun does. We know what the sun's doing this summer. People are like, oh, it's so hot. Be that. Be so hot. Give life, and for those who may not be in residence, it's okay. They can go inside the house, get some AC. Maybe they can tolerate you at the earlier and later times of the day, but don't stop shining. Be and follow the modus operandi. So those are my thoughts, Diane. How's that land for you? This is
Oh, thank
quite a
you.
buffet there.
I like that, about incongruence is, when you're incongruent, you have no power then. So the congruence brings forward, and the coherency is what brings forward your power. So by self-destruction, you've let that go. You've let go the congruence. And so now who knows what could happen.
I know.
And so
Extinction.
so we want to make
Self-destruction.
sure. Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
so
Yeah.
we wanna make sure I know even though for new things, um, some things have to be destroyed to bring something new. So, in one way, that would be you're just self-destructing, you're destroying your old self to bring forward the new self in a positive way. You can look at it in that way too. But self-destruction, it doesn't really help anybody, even yourself, you know.
May I build on that with you?
Yes.
And uh, insert like I'm kind of a thesaurus. I love synonyms. I got a thesaurus book right here. Deconstruction is what comes to mind because I feel what you're saying.
Mhm.
Like self destruction, like how things do have to break down. Like we can't build on our old self. Like so we gotta like get our sledgehammer and start. Let me take down this
Yeah.
drywall that has mold, right? Like it's so yes, it has to come down, and but that's different. That's different than like you pulled in light today, and then when you had the opportunity to shine, you acquiesced or you dwindled it, you muffled it, or you let darkness in.
Mhm.
You let the whatever is outside of you suppress you, and it can
Yeah.
look like a lot of different things, but that's what I see when you say the deconstruction,
Yes. That
the
is it
destruction.
it is a different way. It is a different way of looking at it, that when you're looking at it in a positive way of the new identity, you've gotta get rid of the old, but
Yeah,
you don't do it in that way. You don't say, "Oh, I'm gonna hold back because I don't wanna say that because somebody will feel some kind of way about it." That is self-destruction. I see your point there. Thank you for
may
that.
I
That
share
is
another thing? This kind of ties into there's a comment here. Julian says, everything you're talking about, I was writing about today in my journal. Visibility was hiding, though I help others. I was stuck in childhood beliefs. Childhood
mm,
beliefs, deconstruct that, break that down. Like, get your get your garbage bag, your dump truck, haul it out, get it out of here. Because this, even though it does make us, it's part of the history, but like we can't build on that because all of that is still broadcasting up through the opportunities to be of service. So it's so real in the feel.
mhm. Yes. Yes, these I agree with you. These cards are always on point.
Always
Always something to
get
bring
yourself a deck.
forward and think about. And yes, and thank you to everyone in the comments here. There are a few other comments here. After Susan, then Julianne said, wealth is our ability to be in coherence. Yes, we are wealthy when we are in coherence, for sure. And Susan or Suzanne, she said yes. So she was agreeing with something.
Yes.
Uh, thank you
Suzanne in
for
the
that.
house.
I'm glad things are landing for people. Um, story is medicine, soul coherence with divine. Yes. And then alchemy, union, and reunion. So I think that must be with the was that when self-destruction came forward, I think. Union and then reunion.
Yeah.
Mhm. And Suzanne, thank you, and it's about allowing our truth to shine like the sun, for sure.
Well,
Yes.
sun is the
Yes.
one of the greatest role models. The earth
It
is too.
sure
But
is.
yes, yeah.
I know you reference this often
It's like
because the sun is and I think you referenced this yesterday in the live stream about the sun is always shining on everyone. It's always shining. So, we can shine always too.
it's so deep, Diane. It's like it don't matter. It don't matter who it is. Like you're mad, you don't like me, I'm still shining. Like imagine being that unbothered or unaffected, that
Mhm.
coherent with your design and why you're here and who you are. your divinity. Like that's like I feel so like gotta anchor that in. That's power. You know, that's something that we don't see on the planet, but we have, thankfully, these planetary celestial bodies for reference.
Mhm. Yes, I like that too. So, so the cards that came forward, the herbal allies that came forward with these cards, it's rather interesting
Mm,
because the belief card and the motivation card, both what's come forward for them is peppermint, which is the truth also. And it clears lies and it will assist in all areas. And as you call for the truth, you can ask for assistance from peppermint tea to assist you. And so the next, the self-destruction card, the tea that came forward, the herbal ally is Tulsi.
how I knew you were gonna say that.
And
My gosh.
it's so cool because it Tulsi is transforms fear and doubt into courage and confidence. And so it's just so interesting. So you can flip the self-destruction into self-preservation with the assistance of Tulsi tea. And I just saw something today about how cool it is to grow.
Oh,
And
really?
there was a gardener, well, actually, she's a tea gardener. She
Okay,
grows plants for tea,
that's
and
neat.
she was harvesting this whole row of Tulsi tea, Tulsi basil, and she just cut the whole thing down. And she said, when you do that, and it had been flowered already, and she likes to let it go to flower because that's part of the tea. A lot of plants we don't like to have to go to flower because it changes, the it makes things bitter or whatever
Mhm.
because that's their seeds. They're ready. They're at their end of their life. But Tulsi tea, they use both parts of it, and she said it's wonderful to have. So it was a really cool picture that she was showing us with the bunches of the Tulsi tea, Tulsi holy basil, and what
Yes.
she was gonna do with them, and she was gonna dry them and then use them for tea, but, it's pretty cool. I may want to start to grow that myself. I thought it was kinda cool.
I'm
'Cause
inspired, even
yeah.
more so. You mentioned Tulsi a few days ago, and I had a Vedic astrology reading from one of the Sunners, and her name's Tulsi. And then Tulsi comes up again, and I checked my apothecary, and I was like, "Do I got Tulsi left?" I didn't have no Tulsi, and I went to the health food store today. I didn't even think about it, and now I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get some Tulsi in my life." It keeps popping up, and so I'm so looking forward to it. But I do have peppermint, so I'm gonna have 2
Oh,
bags or 2 scoops of peppermint today.
okay.
Thank you, Diane.
Well, yes, I just made some peppermint tea before too, so I'm gonna have some more tonight. So this was wonderful. Thank you, Tarvars, and thank you everybody who joined tonight. Thank you for all your comments. This is wonderful, and we will be back again next month again. But next week, be sure to join us for our Quantum Light Property Clearing Chronicles session,
Yes.
and follow us throughout the week with all of the other live streams.
May
Go
I
ahead.
mention, so Diane's doing her evolutionary book club on the 1st of next month. I'm excited for it. That's why I'm like, "Ooh." I wanna
Thank
plug
you.
one of your announcements for your event 'cause she's gonna be covering The Subconscious Speaks. This is a very classic book for anyone who has been with of the Sun. I was introduced to this book, over a decade ago when I connected with LaOta, and it really changes your perspective on how the subconscious works from the perspective of the subconscious actually speaking to you. Like, you're reading a book and the subconscious is having a conversation with you to try to help break through so you can get it. Like, this is who I am, and it's kind of funny because it kind of speaks with like levels of authority. Like, get this. You don't understand. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think some of the people, if you found value with this, you'll definitely find value with that because understanding more of who we are or moving into coherence with how your subconscious works, you know, versus like the vague understanding, it will help us really influence life more, you know, and really move into not necessarily control, but influence and where we're in flow, all the things that people want.
Yes. Yes, it is one of my favorite books too. I have read it many times in the, in the paper version, but I also listen to it on
Yeah.
Audible often.
Yeah.
And it goes by so fast. It's like an hour and a half and you're finished with it, but each time it's like, "Oh, something new comes forward." I'm like, "Oh," and I know in my paper version of it, I have things highlighted and, marked, but then something different shows up when I listen to it. I like reading it and I like listening to it too.
Yeah.
There's so many things that can they give such good examples of things to help us. So, thank you for
Agreed.
that. I
Yeah,
forgot
you're
about
welcome.
that.
Yeah,
That'll
we're
be
gonna have a good time.
7th, August 7th.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be there lighting up your comment section.
alrighty. Oh, thank you. And thank you, Suzanne. This was wonderful. Tea shopping tomorrow.
That's right.
Okay.
Some
Sounds
Tulsi
good.
too.
All righty. So thank you again, everyone. Leave you with In Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. See you next time.